Hello everyone and welcome back. 3 days ago, I made a few videos on the new windowing system in iPadOS 26 and I got a ton of comments on both videos. So mainly people asking which iPad I was using or which iPads the update was compatible with. But one comment really stood out to me and that was this one. How about the Files app, and does it get the same upgrade, and does it look the same as Finder on a Mac? Now I specifically mentioned that this update for the windowing system is similar to a Mac where you can now have multiple windows open and you have greater multitasking. However, I haven't explored the Files app yet, so in this video, we're going to be answering this comment to see if the Files app did get an upgrade and if it looks the same as Finder on a Mac. Now we also have a new preview app, by the way, so it lets you preview files and you can also edit PDFs, for example. So you can sign this document using the Apple Pencil. This is a work contract, so I'll blur this out. But it's basically kind of like files, although more on the preview side, not really in terms of file management or file sharing or organizing stuff. So this is what it looks like. We don't really have a lot of files in here, so mainly just items appearing in recents. So let's open the new Files app in iPadOS 26. So as you can see, it's still glitchy because this is the beta version. Now on my iPad, I only have two things, which is my ebook and a Canva folder. So for this demo, let's go ahead and make a new folder and let's just name it Test 1. Here's what the Files app looks like when it's smaller. It's not exactly like the one on the Mac since macOS isn't touchscreen. So this is a touchscreen optimized version and it's more compact where the menu items are just over here. So we have our option to select, create a new folder, or change our view options. So we can change it to list or columns. Now, if we do press on a folder, let's say test 1, we can view more information. And there are also a few different options for that folder. And this is similar to what we had before, except that this is now the new sort of design. And macOS is usually known for having a menu bar at the top of the display. So other operating systems such as Windows and Linux usually have their sort of task bar at the bottom of the display. Whereas on Apple, we have our dock and then a menu bar on the top. And until recently, the menu bar was only available on macOS, but now, check this out. We have a similar menu bar on iPadOS 26. How cool is that? So we have our files, file, edit, view, go, window, and help, similar to macOS. Now it doesn't show all the time, it only appears when you pull it down, so it's similar to the dock where these are kind of temporary and they hide when they're not in use. But this is really cool, especially if you're using your iPad with, let's say, an external keyboard that has a touchpad or a mouse and keyboard. So now I can open my menu bar with my mouse and I can go into File, see, Edit, View, Go, Window, and Help. Now imagine if you have a Bluetooth keyboard, this unlocks new possibilities since you're now using your iPad like a Mac. And of course, it is like a Mac, it is still not a Mac. I've received lots of comments of people saying how this still cannot replace a MacBook, and I'm sure it can't, but it's kind of bridging the gap and getting closer. So it's more than just an iPhone, but it's also not as powerful as a MacBook basically. It's kind of in between the two devices at this point. Another new thing is we should also be able to change the colors of the folders as well as customize them. So let's try that out. So we're gonna move into our icons view and then I'm gonna right click on this and let's see, where's the option to customize it? Here it says customize folder and tags. Now I can change the icon of this folder. Let's go with this icon since we're recording a video. And then we can also change the color somehow. So how do we do that? I guess we have to scroll. Actually, no. So there, we can tag it into a different color. So let's say red. And now we have our test 1 folder in red with our custom icon. How cool is that? Apart from the customization, you can also now add folders to the dock, just like a Mac. So we're gonna, okay, you can't drag it. We just right click and then add to dock. How useful is that? Imagine if you're a video editor or just anyone really who's using files. Now you have access to your files from the dock. And this is not the whole files app. This is a specific folder. So I'm gonna put some files in here. I'm gonna take advantage of the new multitasking features. So I'm gonna drag some files from my business. We're gonna put them in the test one folder. So I'll take all of these different wallets. Now I have a photo of each color of my magnetic wallet. So if I close the files app, and let's say I'm now working on more marketing for my business and I wanna get those photos, then all I need to do is just open this folder in the dock and then tap on open test one. And now I have easy access to all of my files. That's so useful. Although I wonder if it opens similar to macOS where you have like a whole list of files. As you can see in this photo, I just realized. Let's see if we can do that. I'm gonna transfer everything, all 49 items, from this photos album into my folder. It's importing. We have our loading symbol. And then we're gonna see what happens if we now select and then add to dock. Now that it's in the dock, I can tap on it and see how all of the files are shown in this sort of expanded list view. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video and found it useful. Feel free to leave a comment, question, or suggestion down below. And of course, stay tuned for more videos on new OS 26 updates. So I also have a tutorial on how to download iOS 26 or iPadOS 26. You can check it out on this channel. And thanks for watching.